We welcome you to Bob Stein Stadium at the beautiful Lynn Cottrell Park for two of the greatest words in the baseball dictionary. It's opening day here in Dahlonega, and after 273 days, North Georgia baseball is back, and they're looking to start their 2025 campaign off on the right foot in a four-game series against Lincoln Memorial. Glad to have you all with us today, alongside my partner Ryan Hutchison and the rest of the Nighthawk Sports Network team, Robert D. Clementi, on hand for you tonight. After a 32-19 season and another run into the first round of the PBC tournament, head coach Tom Cantrell is back, leading his squad for the 26th consecutive season with the team. Ryan, that 32-19 record marked the 10th consecutive winning record for the program. It's become an expectation that Coach Cantrell's team will rack up the wins during the regular season, but this team has a lot of new and returning talent to not just do well in the regular season, but also make a deep run into this year's PBC tournament and beyond this year.
Yeah, well, starting off with Coach Cantrell, I have a laundry list of accomplishments here in front of me, some of which are 640-plus seasons, the Georgia Dugout Club Hall of Fame inductee, four-time Peach Belt Coach of the Year. So obviously he knows how to win here at Lynn Cottrell Park at the Steiner. Last season, North Georgia finished 5th in the Peach Belt Conference, so he's looking to get these guys a little bit higher up this year, looking to get them towards the top. I think part of that is going to be out of Andrus Opata, the outfielder. Peach Belt preseason all-conference last season, hit .306 with a .473 slugging. But the big thing for Opata is going to be his stolen bases.
No doubt about it. It's going to be exciting to see Opata and how his game evolves this season. Lots to be excited about this year surrounding this Nighthawk team. And on the flip side, when you look at the Rail Splitters, LMU at face value looks like they had a comparable season to UNG, finishing with a very similar record, 33-17, but they made a run to the SAC Baseball Championship as the 5 seed, took down number 1 Catawba to get there. Like North Georgia, they weren't able to make the NCAA tournament last season either, but this is another program poised to make some strides forwards and build off of last season's success.
Yeah, you're right, and leading off for him tonight is going to be left fielder Chris Hall. Last season, bat .346, so he didn't get out very often, had 4 homers and 31 RBIs to go along with it. And that's just one of these Rail Splitters players that gets on base very often. Caston Harvey, another one of those, bat .354 last season. So this offense is really just looking to do a lot of the same. Get on base, get guys over, and get them in.
Yeah, those two players that you mentioned, Hall and Harvey, named to the SAC preseason all-conference first team, so it's going to be interesting to see what they can do tonight. And getting the start on the mound for North Georgia. Very anticipated opening day for Pierce Williams, the lefty graduate student out of Douglasville, Georgia.
Yeah, Pierce last year, 16 innings, a 1.10 ERA. So when he did pitch, he was very effective. Only 32 innings pitched for him, however, in the last 2 seasons. So looking to stay healthy this year.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten a ton of run the last 2 seasons. Like you mentioned, 32 innings over 2023 and 2024 combined. So we expect to see him a consistent starter here. Could pitch 32 innings in the first month and a half or so of the season.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Coach Cantrell's looking for, is that production out of him, out of Pierce this season. And a lefty, obviously difficult to deal with for hitters. Here's a lefty-on-lefty battle. But yeah, you're right. Pierce, if he can stay healthy this year, he's bound to be a force, right? A 1.35 whip, 2-0 in his record when he did pitch last year, 19 strikeouts, didn't have many walks, so just a real effective arm.
This is a big first matchup for him leading off this game. Chris Hall, like you mentioned in that opener, the senior out of Sandy Springs, Georgia, not too far from here. Takes a ball there. Like we mentioned, a member of the SAC preseason all-conference first team. He brings a lot of returning talent to this team, and he's going to have to fill some big shoes after Lincoln Memorial lost probably one of their best players in program history this offseason. So the first matchup for Pierce Williams this evening is going to be a walk, and so it's going to bring up Austin Epperson, sophomore out of New Bern, Tennessee, and Dyer County High School, utility player for this LMU team. As Pierce delivers a strike to make it an 0-1 count.
And a matchup to watch over here on first base is going to be the lead size that Chris Hall is getting with a lefty and Pierce Williams on the mound. Obviously more risky the bigger you get. Williams could throw over there and try to nab him. 5 stolen bases last year for Hall, so not the biggest threat to run, but has the wheels.
And you know Ard's going to be locked in and ready to go there over there at first.
I'd be willing to bet that wasn't the A move right there to start the night.
And speaking of the fielding for North Georgia, you do have Ard at first, Skipper at second, Frost at third, Bowen over there at short. And then from left to right in the outfield, Arispero, Opata, and Edwin Bowman. And Bryson's tripling, the man behind the plate for North Georgia. And you might be able to see from a couple of our different angles here on the broadcast the new pitch clock that's been implemented here at the Steiner. Big swing and a miss there.
That was a great pitch right there by Pierce. Got him off balance. Epperson, a pretty impressive hitter, hit .293 last season for the Rail Splitters. Was able to knock in 10 runs on his year. Got some work to do in the 1-2 count.
And like you mentioned, definitely got to keep an eye over there on Hall at first base.
Yeah, and if nothing else, just throwing over like that just keeps him close. Don't want to let him get too big. Don't want to give a free base away.
And the pitch delivered from Williams. It's going to be called strike 3.
Strikeout number 1 of the year for Pierce. We just talked about how effective he was. 19 last year in 16 innings. There's 1.
Yeah, just got a small sample size of what he can do. Hasn't played since April 27th of last season, towards the end of the year when North Georgia was rounding out the regular season against Georgia College. Like we mentioned, it's nice to see him healthy here to begin this 2025 campaign. Part of a North Georgia team that's taken a transition this season from a younger and up-and-coming team to one now with a lot more veteran players in their 3rd and 4th seasons. Pierce, a graduate student on this team. You've got guys like Opata and Bowen now in the back half of their collegiate careers. Frost in his 4th season. The throw to second at Skipper is going to be just right, and so it's going to put a runner now in Hall on second.
So now you got to think with the speed of Hall, a single is going to score if Harvey can get it done. Interesting to see his approach here and how Pierce pitches to him.
Another tough matchup here for Williams as he delivers the pitch. A bit high. Harvey, a senior out of Easley, South Carolina. Another one of those members on the preseason all-conference team. Dangerous hitter, led the nation in doubles last season. As Pierce delivers the pitch, outside for another ball.
Yeah, dangerous hitter, has the pop, 7 homers last year, 25 RBIs, can get the job done at the plate. You got to be thinking if you're Pierce right now, 2-1 count, don't really want to give up anything. You have a free base. If you have to use it, you obviously don't want to this early, but it's better than a 2-run home run to put you down, so you got to be strategic here.
And the 2-1, this one's going to be popped up into almost shallow center, but Bowman makes the shift over to make the grab for out number 2.
That was about as good as you could hope for. Nothing productive out of the Harvey that bat right there. Easy pop-up, easy play over there for Bowman.
And that's going to bring up Alex Kowalski, junior out of Virginia Beach in Lansdowne High School. Nighthawks just trying to get out of this top half of the first. A nice looking pitch there from Williams. Got him swinging for the 0-1 count.
Yeah, nice pitch there from Pierce. Get ahead in the count. Obviously want to make Kowalski work to you.
Pierce got his eyes on second. Delivers the 0-1. Another big swing, but another miss. And now it's a quick 0-2 count for Kowalski.
And now Pierce just has him wherever he wants him. 0-2 count. He can really go anywhere he wants here. The only place you can't go is right over the middle of the plate. Don't think he'll be going there. Be willing to bet this is an off-speed pitch, but we'll see.
Pierce still locked in on second. Delivers the 0-2. Just outside that top right corner to make it a 1-2 count.
I guess I was wrong.
Hey, it's first game of the season, you know.
There's the first inning. I'll get better.
And a big swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts in the first inning for Pierce Williams. It's going to leave LMU off the scoreboard. Nighthawks are going to be up to bat when we come back. Andrew Sopata going to lead things off for North Georgia. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports.
And leadership, passion and preparation. Transformation at the heart of America's gold rush stands a beacon of leadership, tradition, and excellence. A university that has always led the way, forging an environment for broad-based academics, world-class athletics, and tomorrow's military leaders. The University of North Georgia. Learning and leadership, passion and preparation, transformation and tradition. We are the University of North Georgia.
Lineup consistently for the last 3 seasons for the Nighthawks. Ever since he came onto the scene in 2023, had that breakout freshman season, he has been arguably one of the best batters in the PBC.
Yeah, he absolutely is. PBC preseason all-conference, as we mentioned, 306 average last year, 24 for 25 on stolen bases. So if he can get on, he can turn a single or a walk into a double really quickly, and that's what you're looking for. Just a fantastic player. And really the kind of guy you want at the top of your lineup.
No doubt about it. Like you mentioned, that lone PBC preseason all-conference selection from the Nighthawks absolutely has earned that honor now in back-to-back seasons for him. Had 68 hits last year. That led the team. Like you mentioned, 24 stolen bases, third most in the Peach Belt. Ranked top 10 in the conference in runs scored, doubles, triples, you name it. Opata a threat whenever he steps into that batter's box. Following Opata in the lineup is going to be Jace Bowen, a player who also shared top of the lineup duties with Opata back in 2023 when Bowen was healthy. Opata comes out swinging on the first pitch to make it an 0-1 count. Following Bowen is going to be Ard, Frost, and then Tyler Trish, followed by Arisboro, Brady Skipper, Edwin Bowman, and then Bryson Stripling going to round out the batting order for Coach Cantrell.
Well, let me tell you, no one likes Andrews batting leadoff more than Jace Bowen with that speed he has. He can get on second base and it makes Jace Bowen's RBI numbers just shoot up.
Opata in a 1-1 count. Takes the pitch outside to move up 2-1. Having to go up against Eli Eds, the righty sophomore out of Maynardville, Tennessee, in Union County High School, getting these starting duties on the mound for the Rail Splitters. Delivers strike 2 to Opata, evens up the count.
Yeah, Ed struggled quite a bit last year. 6.69 ERA and 70 innings pitched, 7-6 record, so wasn't as reliable as the Rail Splitters are looking for. They're hoping this year he can get a bit more consistent. Obviously a tough matchup for him to start the season tonight with North Georgia on the road. And this North Georgia lineup that's just so disciplined, so quick. They do a lot of things really well. So they're going to make life hard on Eds.
Eds gets the signal, delivers the 2-2 as Opata gets this one up the middle and bobbled by the short there, and that's going to put Opata on first as Harvey wasn't able to come up with the play.
And that's a whole other element that we didn't even touch on with Opata's game is a fielder has to make his play that much quicker. You know, you have a split second to actually get Andrews out when he's full speed down the first baseline. And right there, Harvey not able to do it. Nighthawks have a runner on, and we get to see this machine go into motion here early.
So that's going to bring up Jace Bowen. Shows bunt, a perfectly almost placed bunt up the left field line. Just trickled its way there onto the left side of that line.
And that's the machine, man. You know how quick Andrews is. You know exactly what they're trying to do right there. Get him into scoring position and let these big bats and Ard and Frost get him in. Be interesting to see if Jace squares around again and tries to do it again. He's obviously got another strike to work with here.
Bowen, we've called him Mr. Consistency over the last few years. Very excited to see him back and healthy this season for the Nighthawks. Pickoff attempt there at first.
Only started in 16 games last season, only 56 at-bats. So you know that Jace is excited to get back out here and get this season going, an opportunity to help the Nighthawks out here in the bottom of the first inning.
Absolutely. He had an amazing freshman campaign back in 2023, finished second in the league with 71 hits. Was in contention for Freshman of the Year in the PBC.
Yeah, bat 345 that season, so he was doing something right. Started every game he played, all 52. Like you mentioned, just consistent.
Yeah, he was turning a lot of heads to this North Georgia program, was named that preseason all-conference first team at the start of the 2024 season. Like we mentioned, kind of dealt with some injury issues. Like you said, only got to play in 20 games last year. Even in that small sample size, though, when he wasn't 100%, we still got to see flashes of the great hitter that he is. Had 14 hits in those 20 appearances, so it's great to have him back and healthy for the Nighthawks again.
His on-base percentage is just fantastic, 394, so he knows how to work the count, knows how to get the pitcher uncomfortable. And when he has Andrews over on first base, that's obviously a lot easier to do, as you've already seen him throw over there twice.
Yeah, we've already seen a handful of pickoff attempts over there. Opata's going to have opposing pitchers' heads on a swivel as long as he's on base. This one's going to stay in the infield and caught. But Bowen makes it to first, and Opata slides into third. So that's going to count as a hit for North Georgia, and looks like Opata is going to be out over there at third base, but it still leaves a runner on first for North Georgia.
Opata had a bit of hesitation there, not sure if he knew where the ball went, and that is why he got thrown out ultimately. If it would have been a full send around second base, he would have made it easily, but I don't think he knew where the ball was right off the bat.
Yeah, he's going to take those sorts of opportunities, though. He's the type of player to take those
and you can't fault
sorts
him
of
for
risks,
it, especially in the first inning. When you have that speed, you got to utilize it. And gave it an effort right there, didn't work out. Be willing to bet we see it again later on.
And for him, kind of in the blink of an eye to make it to third base as is. You know, just got tagged out there, like you said, lost track of the
With the hesitation,
bag.
it was still faster than I could do it. So he could have tied his shoe, fallen over, got a bite to eat.
Took a couple laps around Lynn Cottrell Park, you know.
Whatever you wanted to do.
So that's going to bring up Philip Ard up to bat here for North Georgia. A lot of people excited to see what he can do in his second season with the Nighthawks. Started every game last year as he belts this one into right foul territory. It's going to bring the count to 2-1. Ard transferring over from Division I school, Georgia Southern. Didn't take long for him to establish himself as one of the best power hitters in this conference. Led the team in batting average last year at .326, 11 home runs. Also led this team good for top 10 in the PBC last year, too. As he takes the 2-1 just outside to give himself a little bit more cushion here in this 3-1 count.
Yeah, Peach Belt Player of the Week last April. to start off the month, 2024 PBC All-Conference second team. So Art is just one of those productive hitters again at the top of this North Georgia lineup. He comes with the power more than most.
Built this one almost in the same area, but it stays in play for LMU as Kowalski shifts over, makes the grab for out number 2. So that's going to bring up Riley Frost, the senior out of Roswell, Georgia, and Pope High School, a name that fans of North Georgia baseball have been accustomed to hearing the last 3 seasons. Started every single game he's played in for UNG, 150 appearances for Frost and 150 starts under his belt. He's been a very consistent presence for this team. And of course, if Frost is healthy, he's a lock in the lineup, no doubt.
Oh, absolutely. Just another, like, I keep going back to the word, but just there's so many hitters in the Nighthawks lineup that are within 15 points on batting average of each other because they're all just so good at what they do. Frost, 297, slugged 406, OPS of 817, a double machine. I mean, the whole stat line, the whole slash line is just impressive for Frost. And he's got a runner on first here. I think he would need one in the gap to get a chance at an RBI to start off the season, but we'll see.
The 2-0 count cuts it close for ball 3.
How's that? You get your first AB of the season after months off, and you get one tight.
Well, his last at-bat here at the Steiner was a walk-off grand slam in the regular season finale against Georgia College. The Hawks won that game 11-9. That was a very exciting game to be at.
Possibly still a tad of adrenaline running through the veins as he steps into the box here. Favorable count.
Yeah, it's only been about 280 days or so. As he clips this one right back towards the net. The count is full just like that for Frost.
So runner going to go here on the pitch. Ball in the gap is going to be productive for North Georgia if Riley Frost can manage to put one out there. Jace Bowen, the runner on first base.
And the payoff pitch, this one's going to be fouled out of play, so Frost is going to get another crack at it here. Riley got to play a couple of seasons in a Nighthawk uniform right next to his brother Connor Frost. Saw him over at second and Riley in at short for a couple of seasons. And a big swing and a miss there is going to give us strike 3 and out number 3 in the bottom of the first inning. Scoreless in the first is going to take us to inning number 2 here at the Steiner. We will step aside for another short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here at Bob Stein Stadium on a bit of a gloomy Friday night here in Dahlonega. Fans and teams having to wait a little longer for first pitch here on opening day. Game was scheduled to start at 3 p.m., but some rain here in Dahlonega pushed it back a few hours to 6:30, which also in turn pushed back the start times of our doubleheader tomorrow, now at 1 and 5 p.m. back here at Lynn Cottrell Park. But almost works out, I think, in the favor of the fans here and some of the players. Nothing beats playing a game under the lights here at the Steiner. You kind of feel like everybody's adrenaline is up a little bit more once those lights come on and the sun goes down. You can see the dugouts tend to get a little bit more fired up compared to your average afternoon sort of game.
Yeah, it's a known fact that dudes just get hyped when it gets nighttime. It's what happens. So yeah, the weather wasn't cooperating, but it did give us an amazing sunset.
Yes, it did.
About an hour ago.
I had to wait in line for about 5 people to take a photo right out here outside the press box.
I just threw mine right up against the glass, so I'm not dealing with it.
So it's Caleb Jordan leading off the top of the second here for Lincoln Memorial. Freshman out of Bell Buckle, Tennessee, and Riverdale High School tips this one back for strike one to make it a 1-1 count.
Gotta imagine Jordan has some nerves right here. First collegiate at bat. He's got a dominant arm on the mound. Lefty-lefty matchup.
And he hits this one deep into center field, and shifting over to make the play is the veteran Jorge Arispero. Had a couple vets out there in Arispero and Opada. Take your pick. 99 times out of 100, they're going to make a play.
The ball had a bit more carry off the bat than it looked like it would. It was flying out there to left center field and just never seemed to stop, but Arispero made a nice play. Called off Opada out there and got the job done.
Would have been a pretty nice first collegiate at-bat if you got a little more air underneath that one.
Can't complain. Found a barrel.
That's going to bring up Sam Mass, redshirt senior out of Nashville, Tennessee, and Overton High School. And he hits this one into foul territory. Stripling not going to be able to make a play on it as it takes a bounce right next to the stands here at the Steiner. Got a great crowd here for opening night. Braving the weather out here, just bringing some towels, umbrellas, whatever you got to do, raincoats.
Luckily, it's not that chilly. It's a little cool, but it's not really cold. It's been cold for a couple weeks up here, so it's nice to go outside and not need 4 jackets.
Right now, it's perfect. About 56 degrees, not too shabby out here.
Cracked a little bit. We got a little breeze. It's nice.
It's supposed to be nice this weekend, too, for all 4 of our games here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Got your typical 3-game series plus 1. Williams delivers the 0-2 pitch high to make it a 1-2 count.
So we went to 2 extreme ends of the spectrum. We went from a freshman getting his first AB to a redshirt senior stepping into the box. We've completely jumped from one end to the other.
This LMU team has a really good balance, I think, of kind of like North Georgia, of young, exciting talent that a lot of people around the program are excited to see, but some veteran talent as well. And a veteran-on-veteran matchup there with Williams coming out on the winning end of that one to deliver another strikeout.
3 strikeouts for Pierce early on, so has his strikeout pitch working early, as we expected. Yeah, as you were saying about having some veteran and some youth on your roster, that's how you have sustained success, is you have those guys that have been around the program, know what to expect, know what to teach the younger guys, and then when they get to that position, they obviously do the same, and that's what Coach Cantrell's been so good at in his 25, now 26 seasons here at UNG, is just developing players.
This one's going to be hit into the gap over there in right, and no problem there for the Nighthawks making the play. Easy throw to Ard over at first. LMU still scoreless in this one, brings us to the bottom of the second inning. We'll see if North Georgia can crack through on the scoreboard when we come back. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
No matter how you connect, ETC delivers fast, reliable internet and secure, powerful Wi-Fi choices for your home. For intense gaming, easy sharing, and buffer-free streaming on every device, all at once. With local experts ready to help. Connect to faster internet. Connect to awesome Wi-Fi. Connect to now. Call or visit etcnow.com to upgrade your internet today.
Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Again, glad to have you all with us tonight alongside Ryan Hutchison. I am Robert DiClemente on the mic for you tonight. Still scoreless here through the first inning and a half of baseball here at the Steiner. Pierce Williams doing some damage on the mound here for North Georgia. The Nighthawks getting a chance to crack open this scoreboard here. And Tyler Trish is going to lead things off here for the Nighthawks in the bottom of this second inning. Trish, a redshirt sophomore out of Cumming, Georgia, and North Forsyth High School. A transfer in from Georgia Southern. And him and his teammate, Philip Ard, both coming over from Georgia Southern, were teammates during that 2023 season. One of the reasons why he was able to make his way over to North Georgia with that connection.
And how lucky for us. Going to be batting 5-hole here, getting this inning started.
So his first at bat as a Nighthawk here in the bottom of the second inning. And the first pitch that he sees is going to be a ball from Eds to make it a 1-0 count. And the 1-0 to Trish, again outside for a 2-0 count. And like our Trish didn't get a ton of run over there at Georgia Southern. Comes to the Division II level here at North Georgia. And we saw with Ard in his first season out of Georgia Southern last year, he was one of the best hitters in the PBC. Was, like you mentioned at the beginning of this game, was a PBC second team all-conference selection. So another player who brings some Division I experience here to North Georgia.
Seen Eds work in quite a bit of off-speed here early in the game, and I'm sure that's by design. He wants to keep these North Georgia hitters off balance. And a lot of times that can be difficult for a starting pitcher. You get out there, and obviously your fastball is the pitch you want to work the most. It's the pitch you've been learning since you were 3 or 4 years old. But to have to come out and constantly throw off speed and get these guys off balance can be challenging. So far in the first inning, he was pretty good. We'll see how that continues and how that develops as the game goes along.
Payoff pitch. This one's going to be fouled out of play. That pitch coming in at 89.8 miles per hour, as we can see from our vantage point on the scoreboard. New addition here to the Jumbotron here at Lynn Cottrell Park. Another payoff pitch to Trish as he hits this one to short. Throw to first, gets there on time for out number 1. So the connection from Harvey to Kowalski paying off there for the first out in this inning. And that's going to bring up the left fielder, Jorge Arispero, senior out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, and Archer High School. Another player that the Nighthawks are glad to have back this season. Been a consistent starter over in left for the Nighthawks. Started 32 games last year, but season ended a bit early as he took a pitch to the face against West Florida around the midway point of the season. Kept him out for the last 19 games of the season.
Yeah, and Arispero is an underrated slugger, really. 5 homers, 33 RBIs, a slugging percentage of .518. So he gets the job done in the power department.
Yeah, he still finished 5th on the team with those 33 RBIs, despite missing those last 19 games of the season. So it's glad to see him back and looking to contribute here in his senior season in 2025. Finds himself up in the count 2-0 against Eds. Takes ball 3 low. He's in a good spot here.
Yeah, he most definitely is. You got to imagine this pitch, he's going to let it go no matter what he sees.
He's got Skipper on deck. He takes one right down the middle, 89.3 miles per hour for strike 1. And the 3-1, this one again low, almost in the same spot where the pitch right before the last game, as Arispero watches it go by, and Eds watches him go to first.
Yeah, wasn't really close with that fastball right there on 3-1. Kind of interesting that he was going to go fastball there. I assume he was going outer edge with it, but couldn't place it. Don't want to miss to a hitter like Reese Burrow, but the task gets even harder now for Eds because Brady Skipper is an RBI machine. He gets on base a lot. He gets a lot of base knocks. Sorry if I sound like a broken record.
I mean, it's just a testament to
what
how
more can I say?
it's a
Team's
testament
good at hitting.
to this team and how consistent they are when it comes to their batting. When you look up and down the lineup, 1 through 9. Skipper in an 0-1 count takes another big crack at it there, but misses to make it 0-2. Skipper took on a much larger role last season, started all but one game in 2024, got a ton more opportunities, had 100 more at-bats than his freshman year, and it absolutely shows. As his numbers were up across the board last year, had the third highest batting average on the team at 303. Expect to see him run it back as one of those day-in, day-out starters for Coach Cantrell.
Yeah, the jump he took from 23 to 24 was just fantastic. Every statistical category was much improved, some by more than 100%. So he was just a fantastic player last season. Obviously, North Georgia looking for a lot of that same production this year out of Skipper. And for Brady, obviously, I mean, you tuck yourself into this 7 spot, really an unassuming spot in the lineup, but a dangerous hitter nonetheless. You know,
absolutely.
Pitchers imagining that at the 7 spot he gets a bit of relief, and here comes a guy who hit over 300 last season.
Skipper's got Edwin Bowman on deck over in that 8 spot, and then Bryson Stripling rounding out the batting order in the 9 slot. Runner on first for Skipper. Takes the 1-2. Pitch gets away there from Mass, but it's going to be a 2-2 count.
Looks like he's struggling a bit to really place that fastball on the outside edge. Obviously walked a Rispero with it and missed badly there to Skipper.
It's going to be interesting to follow the sort of pitching storyline here this entire weekend, as this one is going to be fouled out of play. This being an out-of-conference matchup for these two teams, a 4-game series. The game tonight, a doubleheader tomorrow, and then game number 4 rounding out this weekend schedule at 1 p.m. on Sunday. So depending on the performances we see from Eds and Williams tonight, I'd like to know how deep these two coaches are going to go into their bullpen.
Yeah, that's going to be the chess match as we get later on into the weekend. But on a whole another note with the pitching, these two programs not really familiar with one another at all. Obviously, Lincoln Memorial plays out of the South Atlantic Conference. UNG and the Rail Splitters have only met 2 times. UNG 2-0 in those games. So these two teams not really familiar with one another. It'll be interesting to see how that goes as the series goes along.
Yeah, the last time these two teams faced off came in a midweek matchup back in March of 2023, March 29th. The Nighthawks won that one 6-2 in one of those sort of midweek unassuming matchups. But then the other one was during that historic 2017 season when UNG went 46-12 en route to an appearance in the College World Series, beat LMU 4-1 in the opening round of the Southeast Regional Tournament behind a couple of home runs from Connor Corbett, and Bill Leroy now plays for the Savannah Bananas, and a stellar performance on the mound from Dylan Peppers. Had 8 strikeouts in a complete game. The 1-0 pitch, a big swing from Edwin Bowman, the junior out of Suwanee, Georgia, and North Gwinnett High School, getting his first at-bat here the 2025 season.
Seen Eds quite a bit work with that curveball when he really knows he needs a strike. We've seen it when he's behind in the count. We've seen it when he's ahead in the count. We saw it there.
As he takes strike 2. Now in his 3rd season with the Nighthawks, has taken some consistent strides forward in his first 2 years. Numbers are up virtually across the board. 5th on the team in batting average last season at .285. Takes another big crack at it there, but a miss. A strikeout from Eds ends the 2nd inning. Still scoreless here early in this matchup between North Georgia and Lincoln Memorial. Rail Splitters will have a chance to get on the board first when we come back for the top of the 3rd. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Georgia, Georgia. The whole day through.
The whole day, every day, we're thinking about one thing, Georgia's hearts. While you're busy being you, we're working to make Georgia Heart Institute Georgia's #1 heart program. One of only 2 programs in the state offering robotic heart surgery as an alternative to open heart surgery. So whether you live in Atlanta or Athens, in the country or in town, the future of heart care is here for you today. We do it all because Georgia's hearts are always on our minds.
That old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
Georgia Heart Institute.
Stein Stadium on a perfect Friday night for baseball here in Dahlonega. Cool breeze outside. The sun is set. The lights are up here at Lynn Cottrell Park as we head to the top of the 3rd inning, where the right fielder C.J. Duggan is going to start things off here for LMU. Sophomore out of Spring Hill, Tennessee, makes his way into the batter's box at a Summit Hill High School. Number 39, C.J. Duggan. Part of a Rail Splitters team coming off a strong 32-17 season. They made a run all the way to the SAC Tournament Championship game for the 2nd consecutive season. They beat Tusculum in the opening round and took down top-seeded Catawba in back-to-back games to earn their spot in the championship against Wingate. Williams delivers his first strike here in the top of the 3rd, evens up the count at 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch squeaks inside for strike 2.
Pierce been real good so far, 3 strikeouts. That leadoff walk, obviously, but that didn't harm him at all. And ever since then, it seems like he's really settled in, been commanding counts.
This one's hit well into left, but fouled. The count's going to stay right where it is at 1-2. Yeah, that first at-bat for Williams, kind of just a little bit of an adjustment period, like we mentioned, only pitching in about 32 innings over the last 2 seasons. But after that first at-bat, it really hasn't taken a whole lot of time for him to find his stride here in this game as he delivers another strikeout. His 4th already. We're just in the top of the 3rd inning.
Yeah, he's not even one to full-time through the lineup yet, and he's got 4 strikeouts, half of the outs he has gotten so far. That's a wrong stat. That's my bad. He does have 4 strikeouts, however. My math was off right there just a bit. But like we said, it's the first game of the season.
Yeah, so we're still trying to find our feet as well. It's going to bring up the bottom of the batting order with the junior out of Miami, Florida, Kevin Fernandez. So LMU could flip this batting order over if Fernandez is able to make his way to base, but Williams may have other plans. Gets him deep into the count 0-2 early. And the 0-2 called ball 1. I think Pierce Williams is going to work his way into favor here for Coach Cantrell this season. Had a handful of pitchers last year that were kind of his bread and butter during that 2024 season. You had Wes Lott, Dylan Noche, Daniel Courtney last year that were kind of the staples on the mound for Coach Cantrell. And I think after the departure of Wes Lott, graduated after the 2024 season, I think Pierce Williams is going to work his way really nicely into that trio.
And we mentioned at the top of the show, only 32 innings for Williams through the last 2 seasons. And part of that happening now is he has a really fresh arm for this year. Hasn't really pitched a lot in the last 2 years. So if he can stay healthy and continue to be dominant, you could see a lot of innings and a lot of really good innings out of Williams.
Yeah, it's all about this team staying healthy. There's a lot of what-if sort of circumstances that you could think of when it comes to this team. Like you mentioned, Williams has missed a lot of time. Bowen missed a lot of last season up to bat for the Nighthawks. Williams not looking rusty at all here as he delivers another strikeout. It's been pretty difficult for LMU to get on base here early in this game.
Yeah, just really good out of Williams so far, commanding his pitches, not getting behind in the count, really keeping the batters in his wheelhouse. Doing a really nice job so far.
So the batting order is now flipped. Hall back up to bat, takes a big swing as the left fielder goes down in the count 0-1 against Williams.
Really confident pitch there, 0-0 to throw an off-speed in there.
Hall worked a walk last time he was up to bat in the first matchup against Pierce Williams here in this game. It's been the only rail splitter to get on base so far. And the 1-1 will be left and outside for ball 2. Got the designated hitter Epperson on deck. And the count's now 3-1.
Yeah, really good first pitch. Swung and missed on that curveball and hasn't been able to get back in the zone since then. Hall, obviously the only rail splitter that's gotten on base so far.
And the count is now 4-1, which puts a runner on first. Now back-to-back walks drawn here for Hall. It's going to bring up the DH Epperson.
Epperson was a strikeout victim last time to Pierce.
Number 30, Austin Epperson.
First to 5 through the rail splitter lineup the first time. So see if he goes back to the well here on Epperson.
Pickoff attempt over there at first. You got to think, having this pitch clock now implemented here at Bob Stein Stadium, maybe working into the heads a little bit here of these pitchers. It's going to be interesting to see this implementation here in 2025. Williams yet to deliver a pitch to Epperson. A couple of pickoff attempts over there at first. Williams with 5 on the pitch clock delivers another pickoff attempt to first base. And the DH Epperson still awaiting that first pitch here, this at-bat from Williams.
Yeah, Hall stole second base last time he got over. He got on first, so Pierce Williams trying to make sure that doesn't happen again.
And the first pitch to Epperson is going to be a ball. Williams gets the signal, delivers the pitch. A big swing, but a miss there from Epperson. Evens up the count at 1-1. Rail Splitters, they got off to a really hot start last season. Won 13 of their first 16 games in 2024. Trying to replicate that this season. Williams just playing a little bit of catch with Ard over there at first.
Getting familiar with one another.
Just trying to build up a little bit of chemistry here.
Yeah.
Still got his eye on first. Delivers the 1-1. And delivers strike 2.
Yeah, nice pitch there by Pierce on the outer edge.
Williams looks down at his wrist. Eyes on Stripling. Gets set, looks at first. Decides to throw it over there in that direction. Long at bat here for Epperson. He still finds himself down in the count.
I think we're starting to see a bit of a trench built where Chris Hall's running back and forth to first base.
And the 1-2. Patience pays off as Williams delivers strikeout number 6 on the night. 6 strikeouts in 3 innings for the graduate student, as brings us to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Still scoreless here in this one. Nighthawks looking to get the first runs up on the board here in the bottom of the 3rd when we come back. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Nine-hole hitter Bryson Stripling is going to lead things off here for North Georgia in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Nighthawks trying to find some life up to bat here in the first third of this game. Their fielding has done its job, specifically the man on the mound, Pierce Williams. 6 strikeouts through the first 3 innings of this game. Nighthawks got to make up some ground here up to bat, and we'll see if Bryson Stripling can do just that. Stripling, a senior out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, now in his 2nd season with the Nighthawks after transferring in from Georgia Highlands College. And the first pitch that he sees here in 2025 is going to be a strike from Eds.
Stripling hit .213 last season with a .303 slugging. Left the park 2 times with 20 RBIs.
Yeah, he really started to make a name for himself towards the back half of last year. Got the starting nod in just about every game from March onward. That change was made. Was playing really clean baseball behind the plate, but like you mentioned, became a much more consistent player up to bat as well. He fouls this one backwards to make it a 1-2 count.
Yeah, and that's really the important thing when we talk about Stripling is as long as he's doing his job behind the plate, that's really what he's out here for. I mean, the hitting is a plus, obviously. The higher that average goes, the more hits he gets is obviously a positive for the Nighthawks. But if he's behind the plate, he's the quarterback of this baseball field. So it's more important for him, obviously, to be as dependable as he has been at the catcher position.
Counts all evened up at 2-2. Here at the start of this bottom of the 3rd. Dropped strike 3 there, but the throw to first well in time for out number 1. Batting order now flips over with Andrew Sopata back up to bat here for the Nighthawks. Sopata reached base on an error last time he was up to bat. Looking for his first hit of the 2025 season. Sees a ball go past him there from Eds.
And his speed played a factor into that error back in the bottom of the 1st inning. What could be a routine play with a slower player was turned into an error due to just the blazing speed of Opata.
Opata up in the count, 2-0. Sees a pitch go by from Eds. Down the middle for strike one. And the 2-1 to Opata fouls this one back to even up the count at 2-2. Mr. 2-8 out there for North Georgia.
Opata, a product of Parkview High School, a high school baseball juggernaut in Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
So, high-level baseball is no secret to Andrews.
Not surprised to see him dominating here in college as he hits this one off the backside of Eds. Gets to first easily. That one may need to be iced after this game for Eds as he took a shot there from Opata.
That's exactly what Andrews is trying to do, right back up the middle. Trying to get past the pitcher into center field, but he'll take it. Base hit regardless.
So that's going to bring Jace Bowen back up to bat. Had a hit. First time he was in the batter's box here this season. And like we mentioned in his first at-bat, he is just so consistent. 71 hits in his first season. As Opata is going to make his way to second easily there. You can see Bowen making the motion to him to just make his way to second. Opata with a light little jog between first and second. A dangerous place for Opata to be.
And that's something that Eds wanted to stay away from. Giving Opata second base like that, he didn't even have to work for it. Now he stands out there with a consistent hitter at the plate. Bowen got a single his last time, albeit not the best single you've ever seen with what transpired.
Bowen slaps this one into left, but it's fouled. Makes it a 1-1 count. See, a little bit frustrated with himself there on that one. If he was able to land this one fair, going to see North Georgia score their first runs of the 2025 season. Takes the 1-1, gets this one down in center field. Opata being waved home. And North Georgia puts its first runs up on the board here in 2025, courtesy of the second hit of the night from Jace Bowen. Nighthawks take the 1-0 lead as Opata crosses home easily.
Really nice job. Threw his hands at the ball, got it right where it needed to be, just past the infielders. And with the speed on that ball, there was just no chance. Andrews is scoring 1,000 times out of 1,000 on that. Nighthawks strike first, bottom of the third inning.
That was a tough break there from Harvey and Wong Chasteen over there at short and at second. It could have been a play that kept the Nighthawks at bay there. Probably could have kept Opata at second if they were able to corral that one in, but it trickled into center field just like that.
I thought for just a second Castor Harvey was going to be able to get to that one, but it just took a quick bounce.
Ard up to bat, takes ball one to even up the count.
He's looking for some redemption, that pop out in foul territory, his last AB.
And that top of the batting order for the Nighthawks is going to be lethal as he slams this one into center field, and this one is caught by Fernandez. Ard destroyed that one. Had gotten a little more air under it. Could have been looking at a 3-0 lead here for North Georgia, but a good sight to see there from Ard as he got a lot of power underneath that shot.
Man, off the bat, that looked like it was going to sail into the night sky. Just died as it got there. Nice effort by C.J. Dugan to not give up on that one off the bat and get back there.
That one came 105 miles per hour off the bat from Ard there.
Those are big league numbers.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, almost as good of a redemption shot as you could have gotten from that fly out into foul territory.
Anywhere
there.
other than dead central, and it's a 3-0 ball game right now.
So close. Frost now up to bat as Bowen showing off the wheels as he's going to be safe over there at second. Count's going to be 1-1 for Frost. Back at home plate. But again, a good spot here for North Georgia, trying to add some insurance with 2 outs up on the board. Ed's got his eyes on second, delivers the 1-1.
Frost was the RBI leader a year ago for this North Georgia team.
He is just such, like we mentioned, been a consistent presence for this North Georgia team for the last 4 seasons. Takes the 2-1. Hits this one into the gap in left. Runners now on the corners for North Georgia. Harvey, a couple of rare mishaps here for him in this game. Couldn't corral that one in. And now a runner in scoring position for North Georgia with Trish up to bat. And it looks like a visit is going to be made to the mound here with Eds. As him and his catcher, Mass, talk things over.
Yeah, inning not really getting away from Eds yet. Some really not hard hit balls. That one has some speed on it out there to shortstop. Not much Harvey could do. But, I mean, the RBI single was really a seeing eye base hit. Ard got a hold of one to center field, but no damage done. So I think what this meeting consists of is just get out of the inning. Let's get some water in you and make sure nothing spirals out of control right here.
It may have just been a quick, stoppage of time, like you mentioned, just to sort of catch his breath, sort of corral himself back in, and get his head back on here.
Number 19, Tyler Trish.
As Tyler Trish, the DH here for the Nighthawks, looks for a little bit of redemption himself. Had a ground out in his first at-bat as a Nighthawk. Let's see what he can do. With 2 outs up on the board, runners on first and third. Slams this one into right field and right into the glove of Duggan for out number 3. Nighthawks leave the inning with a 1-0 lead, courtesy of Chase Bowen's second hit of the night. We'll see if Lincoln Memorial can respond when we come back. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Nighthawks with a 1-0 lead here in the top of the 4th inning. Chase Bowen had his second hit of the night to send Opata home from second to get us to the position that we are in right now. LMU in a little bit of a hole here in the opening day of the 2025 season. Like we mentioned, Lincoln Memorial, they've been a team that has gotten off to some really hot starts here the last few seasons, won 13 of their first 16 games, I should say, in the 2024 season. Nighthawks are looking to start the season off 1-0 for the 3rd consecutive season. They can hold on to this lead. Still a lot of baseball left to play here in the top of the 4th.
It's usually said that on opening day the advantage goes to the pitcher. So far today the advantage has been with Pierce Williams. 6 strikeouts so far in this one. The only base runners he's given up have been a pair of walks to Chris Hall. Those have not hurt him, obviously, here in the top of the 4th inning.
Harvey, one of the only players that Williams didn't strike out last time he was up to bat. A fly out last time the shortstop was in this position. And the 1-1, this one is going to be bounced a couple of times near Phillip Ard. Takes a trot to first. Easy first out here in the top of the 4th inning for the Nighthawks.
Don't come much easier than that for Phillip Ard over at first base. Nice long hop. Easy to read.
And that's what you want to see if you're the infield here for North Georgia. If Williams isn't getting a strikeout, forcing them into these routine plays just like that one.
Yeah, no hard contact really. The only one that you could say was hit relatively hard really carried off the bat more than anything. It wasn't.
That's going to bring Kowalski back up to bat. Struck out by Pierce Williams last time he was up to bat. Finds himself in an even count at 1-1.
Started in 15 of his 16 games played last year with a .276 batting average.
Finds himself down now in the count now 1-2. And the 1-2 pitch. Another strikeout for Pierce Williams. He is dealing here in this game. That's now 7 this evening for Pierce.
2 strikes right now to Pierce Williams is almost game over for these LMU hitters. I mean, the stuff he has tonight has been on fire through 3 2/3. Just fantastic. Not really skipping a beat on anything.
Like you mentioned, these opening days, they really do favor the pitcher where they've had, especially with Williams in his case, hasn't had a ton of run the last 2 years, had 273 days since the last time North Georgia played in a game, about 280 since the last time he was on the mound for the Nighthawks. So he has had almost a full year to just rest up, get healthy, and he's come back even stronger.
And there's a lot of familiarity when you're pitcher and catcher. Obviously, Stripling and Williams have been doing this for months now. These hitters have been hitting against their own arms. They know the guys they've been seeing, these LMU hitters. They don't have that luxury. They don't know Pierce Williams.
Pierce Williams having his way tonight forces LMU into another routine play for out number 3 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Nighthawks head into the home half with a 1-0 lead. We'll see if they can add to that when we come back from this short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Got a little YMCA blasting through the speakers here at the Steiner. Crowd starting to get into it a little bit here in the stands. Nighthawk faithful, some of the most dedicated fans across all of Division II. We've seen some pretty great crowds already here this spring season across a couple of our sports. Got basketball, men's and women's basketball had some great crowds, especially this past Wednesday for Nigel's birthday. Had a lot of people in attendance for that one. A great crowd tonight as well here for opening day.
Yeah, it really is, especially considering the weather we had all day in Dahlonega. It was not the best day, to say the least. But luckily the rain got out of here about 6 o'clock and opened up for a pretty solid night. I say in our air-conditioned booth.
Yeah, maybe a little bit different for the people out in the stands. wrapped up a little bit, like we mentioned. Not
it's
too
not terrible.
Not too cold out. I think we've gotten the worst.
You can tell by what people are wearing and how they're enjoying the game how cold it is, and it's not cold enough to make people bundle necessarily.
A couple weeks we should be getting back to what I think is shorts weather, but my interpretation is shorts weather.
You think this is shorts weather?
maybe a little bit different.
No, I'm with you. We're about 10 degrees from shorts daily.
It's going to be the left fielder, Jorge Arispero, leading off this bottom of the fourth here for North Georgia. He slams this one into left field, and that is going to be caught back at the 365 marker. A nice play there from Hall to make the grab for a quick out here in the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, Rispero really got a hold of that one. Hard contact off the bat into the gap. Really nice swing. Just really good play out there by Chris Hall.
A couple of these Nighthawks have had a really good few cracks at it here. We saw Ard almost send this one out of here. Rispero almost got that one to drop.
Well, this is the second time through the lineup for Eds, and things are changing. Trish got out and Rispero got out, but both were very hard lineouts to right and left field respectively. And obviously a couple RBI singles. We saw Ard's deep fly ball to center field. So I think North Georgia's hitters are starting to see what Eds is bringing a little bit.
Eds hasn't been too shabby on the mound here for LMU. 4 strikeouts through 4 innings for himself.
See over on our left side, LMU actually has 2 arms going in the bullpen right now. So I think they're seeing a bit of the same thing that we're seeing up here.
Big swing there from Brady Skipper. But Eds gets the best of him there for strikeout number 5 for number 44. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the fourth. We'll see if Bowman can extend this inning here for the Nighthawks.
Eds has done pretty good with his strikeout pitch, though. As we mentioned, he was working a lot of off-speed. Doing that same thing here, getting these Nighthawks hitters off balance. 2 strikeouts for Skipper. Bowman strikeout last time. This is the part of the lineup that Eds really wants to get through. I think if he can get through this 4th inning, it'll be interesting to see if we see a new arm come out for the bottom of the 5th, because we're going to get right back to the top of this Nighthawk lineup. They did a pretty good job against him last time.
And Bowman almost got clipped there on that left shoulder, but a nice job by Mass to put the glove in front of that one to make the count 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. Big swing from Bowman, but a miss to make the count 2-1. And for both of these head coaches, you got to feel like you want to see Eds and Williams go as long as possible in this game, especially with 3 more games to play this weekend.
That's the fine line of playing 4 games this weekend on opening weekend, is you don't want to overuse these dudes' arms too early, because then you can get into a situation come March where they're saying, my arm's dead. So that's the fine line you're going to have to find, is how many pitches do you want Eds to throw. He's already north of 70 in this game.
This is going to drop in the gap in right center field. Bowman is going to turn on the wheels for 2. Gets there standing up. And the inning stays alive for the Nighthawks as the junior Edwin Bowman gets 2 bags out of it and keeps it alive now for Bryson Stripling back up to bat.
Really nice piece of hitting right there out of Edwin Bowman. Right center field gap on a line. Picture perfect for every hitting coach in America right there.
They really couldn't have asked for a better outcome there. Now puts a runner in scoring position with Bryson Stripling up to bat. Struck out last time he was in this position. This is going to be grounded into shallow right. LMU makes the play to keep North Georgia off the board in the bottom of the 4th inning. Almost saw something there from the Nighthawks with Bowman making it to second. But the Nighthawks come out of this one with a 1-0 lead as we head to the top of the 5th. Step aside for another short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. a beautiful Friday night here at Bob Stein Stadium, setting the stage for opening day here in the 2025 season. Nighthawks head to the top of the fifth inning with a 1-0 lead, courtesy of Pierce Williams on the mound. Delivers a strike for his first pitch here in the top of the fifth.
Rail Splitters just looking for somebody to get something going.
This one's going to be blasted into the sky, stays fair. And shifting over to make the play is Jace Bowen. Quick plate appearance there from Mast. It's going to give us our first out at the top of the fifth.
And that's really what LMU doesn't want, is to let Pierce Williams get quick outs like that. You know, you want to work these ABs. This guy's just shredding through your lineup right now, racking up strikeouts like they're nothing. Hard contact's just not coming. So you almost want to tell these guys to take the first strike, make sure they can sit in there and see some pitches. That's the opposite of what you want.
Well, a lot of these batters for LMU, I think they're trying to catch Williams off guard here with these first pitches. We've seen a lot of batters here for LMU. First pitch they see up in the batter's box, they're going to try to send it. But Williams has just been nasty out there for North Georgia. Delivers another good-looking pitch. And a quick 0-2 count now for Wong Shasteen.
You know, it happens quick. You get into the top of the fifth inning, and all of a sudden you're counting outs. You know, these guys are up here trying to hit doubles, triples, homers. They're trying to make something happen. And when you can work in your off-speed and get them off balance, and they're getting quick outs, I mean, you feel invincible, and that's the cat and mouse of the game is I'm going to swing first pitch. Well, I'm going to throw you a changeup or a curveball, and you're not going to know what's coming next. And then when you get to an 0-2 count, when a guy's pitching like this, it's hard to do anything, really.
And Williams has thrown just about everything at him, and they really haven't had any sort of answer for him. Counts 1-2 after a foul ball from Wong Shasteen. Just clipped that one. And the 1-2 pitch from Williams just outside for ball two. LMU still has not had a runner reach base. Drawing those two walks, another foul ball. Counts evened up at 2-2. We're going to get the double peace signs from the home plate ump. Yes, we are. Williams checks his wrist in the 2-2 count. Got Duggan on deck. This one looks like it may have gotten a piece of. Just got his bat.
Yeah, I think he got the knob of the bat right there. Nice break for Pierce Williams. But this is really what LMU's wanting out of Wong Shasteen right here. Just put together a long AB. At this point, the outcome, obviously getting on base would be great, but you've done your job. You've made him throw some pitches.
Williams shifts over, throws to Ard at first. Another routine play. Williams forcing LMU into. Still donuts up on the scoreboard for the Rail Splitters. The Nighthawks still lead this one 1-0, now with 2 outs.
All pitchers love to see what Pierce Williams just did. That's a PFP executed to perfection. Getting off the mound to the right side, turning, firing. The throw doesn't go 10 feet over the first baseman. Pitchers rejoice. They are athletes. Says the former PO.
It's now an 0-1 count. Williams delivers ball one. And luckily, when Williams has, forced LMU into making contact, he hasn't had to do too much. This one skies into left, and another routine play. This time, it's Jorge Arisboro making the grab. Still a 1-0 lead for North Georgia as we head to the bottom of the fifth. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. North Georgia leading game one of the opening game of the 2025 season 1-0. And they are going to have to face the second different pitcher here from LMU as Ed's day is now over. And it's going to bring out the sophomore out of Meeks County High School, Peyton Armour, now on the mound here for Lincoln Memorial.
Not a bad opening day out of Eli Eds. 4 innings pitched, 1 earned, 5 hits, 5 strikeouts, and 1 walk. I don't think anyone in the Lincoln Memorial dugout is going to be upset with him for what he did. Put together some solid innings, didn't let things unravel early, got it to the bullpen, gets a new arm in. So now the Nighthawk hitters are going to have to relearn this guy's what he has, what pitches he has. He obviously is going to do things a little different than Eli Eds did. So here's another part of that cat and mouse game. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. New arm, looking to extend the lead.
Yeah, Ed's definitely had a little bit of a shorter leash than I think maybe a lot of people expected. Only gave up that 1 run and just a couple of hits here in this one to the Nighthawks, but his day is now done. Interested to see if we see him again this weekend. But with Peyton Armour now on the mound here for Lincoln Memorial, he's going to try to close out this game for the Rail Splitters, see if they can just get through a pair of pitchers here in this one to end this opening day of the 2025 season.
Back to the top of the North Georgia lineup for the 3rd time here. Peyton Armour didn't have the campaign last season he was looking for. A 13.86 ERA in the 12 innings he pitched. Looking to bounce back here. He's got a tall task with the top of this North Georgia lineup.
Yeah, Opata probably not the ideal first matchup that you
Definitely not
have.
the first guy you want to see step into the batter's box. Power, speed, contact. Call that a 5 tool.
Has reached base on every up to bat he's had here in this game. Slams this one into center field, and it is going to drop. Opata making his way for 2. Gets there standing up. And Andrew Opata has been lethal in this game. Gets 2 bags out of it. Puts a runner on second for Jace Bowen.
Nightmare scenario for Armour right there. A leadoff double to start the 1st inning with the fastest guy on the team. So now you get into damage control immediately. You know, how can you get Bowen out? How can you keep Opata on second or only have him advance to 3rd? Because after Bowen, you have Ard and Frost and all these hitters who are just really good, really powerful.
In an identical situation to what we saw earlier in the game where North Georgia scored, but a different result here. Jace Bowen bunts, now 3 for 3 tonight, puts runners on the corners, and that's why you call him Mr. Consistency.
That was fantastic. That first bunt back in the 1st inning looked like it was going to be great. That one was great. That's the no man's land.
Yeah, that bunt was about as good as you can get it. You know, you leave
with the speed Bowen has, you get over there. Fantastic job.
You leave a couple Rail Splitters just frozen, just staring at the ball. It's almost like in basketball when you hit someone with a crossover and you just leave them staring at you. Maybe not a complete translation from sport to sport.
That's why we work the PFPs, so you can make those plays. But sometimes the bunt is so good that you just can't really do anything. Right there just wasn't much that Armour could do.
So now a speedster on 3rd and Opata. And a big bat and Ard. Down in the count 0-2.
You remember Ard, we were certain that we saw a 2-run home run to center field last time he got up to the plate. So 0-2, not the spot he wants to be, but
takes one upstairs for ball 1. Nighthawks in a good spot here, especially with no outs up on the board here, too. They can experiment a little bit if they want to in this position. The 1-2 is going to be low to Ard. Evens up the count. And a great eye there from the second-year player on this North Georgia team.
It was. I mean, that's a strikeout pitch. That Armour was going to that to get Ard to swing. Fantastic job by Ard laying off. And this is what a great hitter does. Up from 0-2 to 3-2, full count. He's a hard out. You know, even 0-2, there's no guarantee you're going to get Philip Ard out, and you're seeing it live action right now. He doesn't swing at the 1-2 strikeout pitch. You miss with a fastball. Now you're in a full count. You don't want to load the bases for the 4-hole. It's a lose-lose. So you throw over to first base to think about it a little bit more.
Yeah, extend your thought process here a little bit.
It's all just a mind game. It's all we're doing out here.
Got Riley Frost on deck here for the Nighthawks. If Ard is able to draw a walk here to load the bases. The payoff pitch. Grounds this one into the gap in left field. Opata crosses home again. And the Nighthawks take the 2-0 lead here at the Steiner as Philip Ard slams one into left center.
Just fantastic execution right there. Bowen going on the 3-2 pitch. Shortstop leaves his position to cover second. Philip Ard knows he's such a good hitter that he knows he's going to hit this ball to the gap at shortstop. That's perfectly drawn up, perfectly executed. And we're right back where we started. Runners on the corner. And the nightmare gets even worse for Peyton Armour.
Because you bring another consistent batter up in this position. Riley Frost, 1 for 2 today. Takes a ball outside from Armour for the 1-0 count.
That off-speed pitch from Armour is a real risk. I mean, we see it's coming in at 73 miles an hour. If you don't place that where you want it to be, it could be really dangerous for him. And even the fastball at 86. I mean, these guys see some pretty quick speeds throughout the season. So a guy like Armour comes in. He's going for placement on his pitches, which works great when it works. When it doesn't, it can get dangerous really quickly.
Delivers the 1-1 to Frost. Upstairs for ball 2.
I don't know if the place I try to be missing is right above the strike zone, a couple inches lower, and things could get ugly.
We've seen a lot in the past where sort of these mid-game sort of circumstances for the Nighthawks when you get into, you know, those 4 to 6 innings where they've done a lot of damage in the past. We'll see if Frost can sort of continue that trend that Ard has set up for him. And an even count at 2-2. Takes the pitch. Fouls this one back towards the net. So we're going to stay right where we are at a 2-2 count.
What Armour does have working for him is his arm slot's coming from about 9 o'clock. So every fastball he's throwing does have inward motion to a right-handed hitter. So that pitch is running really far in on Riley Frost. That's why he took the pitch with 1 strike. That's why he was able to foul that off his knuckles right there. That ball's moving a lot more than you'd think. So even at those speeds, it has that inward cut like a sinker or a 2-seam fastball. And that's why the fastball could be effective for him as long as he's able to place it where he needs to.
The key, like you said, putting it where it needs to be, because if you don't, it can make you pay. But he places that one perfectly to strike out Frost. Gives us our first out here in the top of the 5th, or bottom of the 5th. It's going to bring Trish back up to bat.
Trish really got a hold of his last out, that line out to right field. You got to imagine that'd be deep enough again to score the runner.
He's flown out and ground out in his first 2 appearances here this season. Looking for a little bit of redemption, but Armour delivers a strike.
Seems like Armour's getting pretty comfortable with that fastball. Obviously, Drew's hit the double to welcome him to the game, so immediately uncomfortable. But now a couple batters in, starting to figure it out a little bit, place it better.
This one's going to be tipped and fouled. Now an 0-2 count. And that's just tough for a pitcher fresh out of the bullpen, having to go up against Zapata and your first matchup. Never an easy thing to do, but.
And then the rest of the North Georgia top of the lineup.
Settling in a little bit here with a few of these pitches. Delivers strike 3 to Trish to send him back into the dugout. We'll see if Arispero can extend this bottom of the 5th here for the Nighthawks.
Yeah, Armour there just tripled down with that fastball. Got to imagine Tyler Trish was looking for something else, and he got caught looking. First strikeout looking of the day for any of the UNG hitters.
Arispero takes one low.
He had the same fate. Hard line out to the corner. His went to left field last time. Great contact. First debut was a walk.
Still got those runners on the corners here for North Georgia as well. Got Brady Skipper on deck. Arispero is able to make something happen.
Big at-bat here for Arispero. I mean, runners in scoring position, no outs. 2 strikeouts is much less than ideal. You really want to get that runner in.
This one takes a skip in the infield. Throw to first. Doesn't get there on time as Bowen crosses home plate. And it's a 3-0 lead here for the Nighthawks.
You'll take them how you can get them, and right there, Arispero was able to get the job done. Another ball hit to shortstop where a fast runner is really making the difference. That time, no bad throw, no bad play. Just the quickness of Arispero got the job done.
So the inning stays alive. We'll see if the junior out of Broxton, Georgia, Brady Skipper, can do even more damage here in this inning for North Georgia. Takes ball 1 low.
Real nice job there by Sam Mass, making sure that ball wasn't able to get by him.
Yeah, Mass, I'd say for the most part, has done a really good job behind the plate here for LMU. A couple of pitches that he's seen that could have gone past him, and advanced runners. He's done a nice job of being on top of it and keeping North Georgia at bay for the most part. He's going to have a little chit-chat here with his pitcher Armour on the mound. So you got Arispero at first, Ard at second. You got Edwin Bowman on deck here for North Georgia as well. If Skipper.
Skipper wants some redemption. 2 strikeouts swinging for him so far today. Runner out there on second base in scoring position. A base hit should bring him home.
Yeah, Skipper definitely due for something here.
Real favorable count for Skipper, up 2-0. Be interesting to see if Armour goes to that moving fastball or if he tries to go off speed here.
He's got his eye on Ard at second. Delivers the 2-0 to Skipper. Grounds this one into the gap. Flip to second. Gets there on time for out number 3, but not before the Nighthawks can put up 2 runs here in this inning to extend their lead to 3-0 as we head to inning number 6 here on opening day at the Steiner. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want with NCAA.com, the home of college sports.
Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network for opening day of the 2025 season. Nighthawks up 3-0 in this game, and they make a Wendy's call to the bullpen to bring out number 3, Zach Green, now on the mound here for North Georgia. Not really surprised to see Zach Green in this situation. One of the most reliable pitchers out of the bullpen for the Nighthawks, appeared in 26 games last year. That not only led the PBC, but it was 18th most in the entire country. So we'll see what Zach Green can do here, trying to close out this game for North Georgia.
Yeah, reliable arm to come in the 6th inning and try to get the ball rolling on finishing what Pierce Williams started. Just a fantastic job for Pierce in this one. Was able to go 5 innings, not give up a run, and a lot of strikeouts came from Pierce Williams right there.
And that's definitely strategic from Coach Cantrell. Don't want to force him into 9 innings if you don't have to. Williams, like you mentioned, has pitched a phenomenal game, but you want to keep him healthy for this entire 2025 season. So you put a very reliable pitcher out there in Zach Green, a graduate student out of Gainesville, Georgia. This one's going to be fouled.
Final tally for Pierce was 7 strikeouts, so lucky number 7 to start his season out.
Really couldn't have asked for a better game from him.
No, you could not have. 2 walks, the only blemishes. Just really great job to open up the season.
Yeah, never let a runner get past first base. Had those 2 walks drawn from Hall at the top of the batting order. And that was it. Green delivers the 1-1. This one's going to be fouled out of play by Kevin Fernandez. Center fielder struck out last time he was up to bat. Looking for a different result here. And the 1-2 from Zach. Another foul ball, this one to the opposite end of the field. Count still 1-2. And the pitch inside for strike 3.
Real nice spot right there out of Green. Low inside corner, nothing you can really do right there.
So it didn't take him a long time to adjust here to this game. Had his way with Fernandez, but now batting order flips over to Hall. The only player that's been able to get on base for LMU in this one, drawing 2 walks against Williams. Takes one at almost 86 miles an hour from Green. That's going to be outside for ball 1. Batting order flips over for a 3rd time in this matchup as Green delivers ball 2.
Hall didn't really draw a ton of walks last season. In 19 appearances, only 10 walks. He has 2 tonight.
So the count's 2-1. And the pitch from Green, this one skies into left. Arispero is there. Makes another routine play. And the first time Hall has been up to bat, unable to reach base. Goes back to the dugout. And Epperson now going to be the player to try to extend this inning for LMU.
Good job out of the bullpen so far by Zach Green. Efficient. Got the strikeout looking, got the fly out. If he can get through Epperson right here, that's about as good of an inning as you could ask for here in the top of the 6th.
The DH has been struck out on both of his first 2 plate appearances this season. Finds himself up in the count 1-0. You got Harvey on deck. A big swing there, but nothing to it as the count is evened up at 1-1.
Great pitch there, way out front of that off speed. Definitely looking for something else. And Green just pulled the string right there, got Epperson out front.
Another big swing and another miss.
Why wouldn't you go to it a second time?
Yeah, might as well. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know?
Does he dare a third?
And the 1-2. Outside, so we got twos across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Still no runners on for LMU. And the 2-2. Just outside for ball 3. Count runs full. And the payoff pitch. Just outside for ball 4. So Greeny walks his first batter here in this game. And the first player to reach base, not named Hall in this game, as Epperson gets to first.
Those were 2 really good pitch locations out of Zach Green right there. Didn't get the umpire to think the same thing, but really like that spot, low and away. It's not a damaged spot. Nothing can happen there if bat to ball happens. So good job by Green regardless of the outcome.
This will be a big out for Zach Green if he's able to work. Caston Harvey here, like we mentioned earlier, led the nation in doubles last year, was named to the all-conference first team and all-region teams back in 2024. One of the biggest returning players for this Lincoln Memorial squad. This one's going to be fouled to even up the count.
Watch some members of the UNG coaching staff come out and tell Arispero to back up towards the wall. They also shaded Opata left just a hair.
And the 1-1. Again outside. So Harvey goes up in the count, 2-1.
Couple dangerous hitters here for the rail splitters. Need to find a way to get some soft contact or some swing and miss stuff.
Still looking for that first hit tonight. They may get it here, but they are not going to, as Edwin Bowman shifts over to make the easy play. A runner does get on for LMU, but they still remain off the scoreboard, still looking for their first runs of the game. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. North Georgia trying to extend this 3-0 lead. When we come back from the break, you're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
At the heart of America's gold rush stands a beacon of leadership, tradition, and excellence. A university that has always led the way, forging an environment for broad-based academics, world-class athletics, and tomorrow's military leaders. The University of North Georgia. Learning and leadership, passion and preparation, transformation and tradition. We are the University of North Georgia.
Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network, and we thought Eds had a short leash. Armour, an even shorter one for LMU. His evening is now done. The third pitcher here for LMU making his appearance on the mound. It's number 20, Dylan Mayer, junior out of Miami, Florida. Making his first appearance here in 2025 for Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, I think Lincoln Memorial was definitely looking for more out of Armour there. Went 1 inning, 2 earned, gave up 4 hits. Did have 2 strikeouts, but the 4 hits negated those. So
Mayer also making his debut with Lincoln Memorial, transferring over from Palm Beach State College. He's put in a big spot here against North Georgia with the bats that have been red hot for this team. 9 hits through 6 innings here for North Georgia, and it's going to be up to Mayer to try to keep the Nighthawks at bay.
Fun little Palm Beach State College tidbit for you. It's the home of the new SoFi Center for the TGL Golf League.
How about
you said that, and I had
yeah.
it clicked. I was like, wait a minute. I've heard that recently.
Speaking of golf, lots to be excited about with North Georgia men's and women's golf right on the horizon. Men's team finished up as the national champion runner-ups in 2024. So lots to be excited about with Coach Campbell and Coach Worley's teams here with the men's and women's golf programs. Edwin Bowman fouls this one out of play. He's leading things off here for North Georgia in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Had that picture-perfect double into the right center field gap last time up.
He's the only player in the 6 through 9 slots for North Georgia in this batting order to record a hit in this one, which was that double last time he was up to bat. Gets down in the count 0-2. Takes a pitch upstairs for ball 1.
And in that 0-2 count, obviously, it just becomes find a way to put the bat on the ball. You know, choke up on the bat just a little bit, shorten your swing, throw your hands at it, do whatever you can to find a way on base.
Grounds this one to third. Jordan throws to first. Kowalski makes the play for out number 1. So nobody on base for Bryson Stripling. Stripling struck out and grounded out on his 2 plate appearances this evening. Looking for a different result here. The leadoff batter, Andrew Sopata, on deck for the Nighthawks. Stripling sees a foul ball there as this one just tips off the barrel for strike 1.
Got a bit of a fog rolling in the outfield.
Yeah, I noticed that. Starting to get a little bit more cloudy here. Maybe make it a little harder to keep track of the ball here as this one stays in the infield. And the throw to first, not going to get there on time. That connection between Jordan and Kowalski paid off the last at-bat, doesn't there. As
quite a few infield singles in this one so far.
Which is, I think, pretty rare against this LMU team. This Lincoln Memorial team was first in the PBC last year in fielding percentage. You know, they made very little mistakes last season, so it's a little bit surprising to see them here with a couple of mishaps. That one, obviously not an error, but still a play that you'd like to have. Big swing there from Opata. Misses for strike 1. Opata 2 for 2 today. Also reached base on an error. This top of the batting order for North Georgia has been stellar in this one. First 5 batters all with hits as Opata fouls this one out of play. Opata 2 for 2. Bowen 3 for 3. Art and Frost with a couple hits tonight as well.
And we just talked about it with Bowman, but in this 0-2 count, this is a guy where a guy like Opata usually thrives.
And thrives he does there. Hits this one into left. Right on cue, Ryan. Runners on first and second. Just 1 out. Puts Jace Bowen in a good spot.
Opata 3 for 4 to open up his season. And now we get to see Bowen again, who's 3 for 3 with an RBI tonight. So this is working out really nicely for the Nighthawks in the bottom of the 6th frame.
Number 29, Jace Bowen.
Less than 2 outs, runners in scoring position. A good chance here for North Georgia to put another run on the board.
And Bowen picking right where he left off back in 2023, where he was one of the most prolific freshmen in the entire Peach Belt Conference. Now, he flew under the radar last year because he missed a lot of games. Started 16, only played in 20, was out a lot of the year due to injury. But a healthy Jace Bowen and a healthy Andrew Sopata, both in their 3rd seasons here at North Georgia. There's a lot to be excited about as Jace takes strike 1. Nasty looking pitch there from Marin at 74 miles an hour.
Yeah, these LMU, they have some arms in this bullpen that have some really gross stuff. Seen a lot of run on their pitches, a lot of movement, and that's tough as a hitter.
And the 1-1 to Bowen just outside for ball 2.
And that goes without saying, but it's the late movement, really. It's when you think you have a ball and all of a sudden it's a strike. It's when you think you have a barrel on it and all of a sudden you hit it off the end cap and you roll into a double play. But that's why these guys are batting 2 and 3 hole in the lineup, because they can adjust to this as good as anybody.
So Mayer now threatening to send Bowen back to the dugout for the first time tonight in a 2-2 count. And the 2-2, this one's going to be fouled back, so Bowen's going to have another crack at it here. We mentioned how consistent Jace Bowen has been. Had 71 hits his freshman year, had almost 20 last season in the limited time that he got. Still doesn't have a home run in his collegiate career. Takes the 2-2 pitch. Outside the left side of the box. Count runs full now for Jace.
There's a few times I'm rooting for an announcer jinx, and I hope that you just gave us one right there. Jinx might be the wrong word, but positive jinx.
Hopefully speaking something into fruition.
Speaking into existence.
The payoff pitch. Way outside. Bases are loaded for the big bat of Philip Ard. So he's not going to get the chance for that home run, but Philip Ard may...
Lucky for us. He was about 10 feet from one earlier in the game.
Brings up the home run leader on this North Georgia team. Last year had 11. Was the only Nighthawk to make the all-conference team last year, named to the PBC all-conference second team back in 2024. Was such a welcome presence to the Nighthawks last year in his first year out of Georgia Southern. Takes a strike there from Mayer. So a lot of people around this program are excited to see what he can do here in his, after now with a full year under his belt with this Nighthawk program. Slams this one into left. And this is going to score 1 run, make that 2. The big bat of Philip Ard pays off, scores 2 runs, and gives the Nighthawks a 5-0 lead here in the bottom of the 6th.
Just a great piece of hitting right there. Turned on that, hit down towards third base. Nothing right there that Caleb Jordan could do but watch it fly by. And Philip Ard just comes through clutch again. 40 RBIs a year ago. Starts off his season really nicely here, as that's going to be his 2nd and 3rd of the night.
So 3 RBIs for Ard tonight. Bowen with 1 and Arisborough with 1 to get us to the 5-0 lead we have. And Frost, with a couple runners in scoring position, could extend this lead even further. Hits this one up the left field line, and it's going to be fair. That's going to score another 2 runs here for the Nighthawks. They are pouring it on in the bottom of the 6th. Now 4 runs in this inning. And a 7-0 lead for North Georgia.
And in a completely different way, there was really nothing that Caleb Jordan could do there either. That one went to his right, and he would have had to backhand it. But obviously with the runner on third base, that becomes a difficult situation. You know, with the runner on the base, that's his area to occupy. So nothing they could do there. 2 more runs for the Nighthawks.
Yeah, just a tough spot. You know, Jordan was in, you know, the position he was supposed to be in there to make a play. Just that ball almost could have gone fouled, but it just nicked him to stay fair. Tough break there, but pays off for North Georgia. A 7-0 run off 12 hits. This one is belted into left, but it's going to drop into the glove of Hall for out number 2. Been a bit of a rocky opening here for Trish, the designated hitter, and his opening here for North Georgia. Bound to find his footing soon. Brings up out number 2. And a Respiro. Now with a runner on second. See if he can keep this 4-run inning going here for North Georgia. Respiro down in the count 0-1, takes a ball there.
I think LMU obviously wanted more out of their bullpen tonight. Hasn't been ideal. 6 runs and hasn't even been 2 full innings for them on the mound. For North Georgia, though, this really puts you in the driver's seat in the rest of this series. You know, you can use your arms at your will. For LMU, you really got to just start using these arms however you can.
And the throw to first does not get there on time. Harvey had a long way to go to try to make the play. Couldn't make one there. Runners on the corners yet again. And Brady Skipper can threaten to blow this one wide open.
I don't have the exact number in front of me, but I believe that's the 4th infield single we've seen out of this North Georgia team. We've seen some line drives. We've seen some hard-hit ground balls. We've seen infield singles. We've seen bunt hits. They're getting it done however they can tonight.
Yeah, they've been putting runs up on the board in so many ways, trying to do it here as this one does not drop. A great catch in the center field for Fernandez, but not before North Georgia can put up 4 runs to go up 7-0 here in this game as we head to inning number 7. We will step aside for a short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network for opening day of the 2025 season. The top of the 7th, Nighthawks 7 runs in this one for a 7-0 lead over LMU in an out-of-conference matchup to begin the season. We've got plenty of action in store for you this weekend on the Nighthawk Sports Network. A doubleheader tomorrow starting at 1 o'clock between North Georgia and LMU, and series finale coming up Sunday at 1 p.m. You can catch all those games here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Zach Green still in the game for North Georgia, delivers a ball on his first pitch here in the top of the 7th.
Green is able to get a strikeout looking on the 9-hole Fernandez. His only blemish last inning was a walk to Austin Epperson, the DH. And this is what I was talking about. Now you get to put Green back out there for his 2nd inning of work. Obviously, you have a touchdown lead out here, so you can really just use your arms at your will if you're Coach Cantrell.
So Greeny in an even count delivers the pitch. This one's going to stay fair up the right field line. Ard could not make a play as Green tried to recover there. Flip backwards to try to get the tag. Great effort there.
That was a really good effort. It was close. From up here, it looked close. Tough ball for Phillip Ard to have to take in right there off the end cap. that ball has more spin than you imagine. It's really unpredictable. And most of the time on this turf, everything is predictable. But right there, that ball's just going all kinds of which ways. At the last second, you go to close the glove, ball pops out. So unfortunate. Hopefully Green can bounce back right here and roll 2.
Yeah, he had to come out of his position there and didn't really have anybody on base to make the play. Green almost made the tag, but he delivers a strike, trying to rebound here against Jordan. Jordan, a fly out and a ground out. 2 times he's been up to bat today. Foul ball sends this one over to the UNG soccer field.
He got all the action you could handle over there at the hot corner last half inning. Had Phillip Ard absolutely smoke that ball by him, and then the Riley Frost play that wound up as an E5 on Jordan.
The 0-2 as Greeny delivers a strikeout. Gives us our first of the inning and the second strikeout of the night for Zach.
No better feeling in baseball than as a pitcher when you throw that pitch and the guy's bat flails out in front, does a spin. You know that you completely defeated the batter in that moment. Really nice pitch there away from Jordan, just no chance. Once that bat started to go around, he was dead to rights. He was gone. Great job by Green.
Yeah, had him right where he wanted him there on that strikeout. This one drops. Stripling throws it to second. Doesn't get it there on time. Almost made the play there. A nice heads-up play by Stripling to recognize the runner running to second. Almost recovered there. Just couldn't get it to Skipper on time. So that ball from Zach Green makes it a 1-0 count. Delivers the pitch outside for ball 2.
And this is a moment now for Green. Runner in scoring position off that wild pitch. You're up by 7 runs, down 2-0 in the count. You really just want to get in there right now. Don't want to go down 3-0. You just want to attack this hitter in this situation.
Delivers one low for ball 3.
There are 2 arms up and moving around in the UNG bullpen.
Green got his eye on second, delivers the pitch. It is down the middle for strike 1 at 84.5 miles an hour. Trying to work his way back into the count. Delivers the pitch. This one is going to take a bounce in front of Bowen, who throws to first to get the out. Nice play there by Jace Bowen in at shortstop. Saw him play a lot of games over there at third for North Georgia with Frost over there in short for a lot of last season.
Yeah, Jace almost fielded that one blind right there. Riley Frost obviously made the move to his left, was charging that ball hard, and at the last second decided it was all Bowen's. Great job by Jace to stay composed and make that throw.
So now this is the best opportunity that LMU has had to get on the board here in this game. Coach Cantrell knows that, and meeting will take place on the mound here with the infield. First of the game that we've had in this one for North Georgia's side, which is a pretty great sight to see. We know, Coach Cantrell is, not afraid to go out there and have a couple meetings with his pitchers that he has out there on the mound, and to be in this situation, top of the 7th inning, and this is the first visit that we've had from Coach out to the mound is a pretty good sign and a pretty good testament to how well this pitching staff has been.
The arms have just been on it tonight. It's been a really great job, Pierce and Zach so far, doing what they need to do, trying to keep LMU off the board here.
Green's pitch is going to be just upstairs for ball 1. So we got Wong Shasteen up to bat. And Kowalski at third. Back-to-back pitches outside of the zone from Green makes it a 2-0 count.
Couple close misses right there by Green.
And the 2-0. Again, this one.
3.
A close miss, yeah.
Good pitches from Zach Green. Be interesting to see if that mound meeting was a this is your last regardless type of situation. Because like we mentioned, it's a long weekend ahead. And Green had really effective bullpen arms, so you don't want to wear him out here on the first night of the series.
I definitely wouldn't be surprised if you saw him again at some point, maybe on Sunday in the series finale.
Yeah, most definitely. He's earned it.
The 3-1. This one's belted into right and right into the glove of Edwin Bowman for out number 3. LMU still unable to put up a run there. Came close, but North Georgia takes care of business. It's time to stretch as we head to the bottom of the 7th. We'll step aside for another short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
No matter how you connect, ETC delivers fast, reliable internet and secure, powerful Wi-Fi choices for your home. For intense gaming, easy sharing, and buffer-free streaming on every device all at once. With local experts ready to help. Connect to faster internet. Connect to awesome Wi-Fi. Connect to now. Call or visit etcnow.com to upgrade your internet today.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Nighthawk Sports Network as we approach 8:35 here on opening day. Nighthawks with a touchdown lead, like Ryan said, and this one a 7-0 lead heading into the bottom of the 7th inning here in this ball game.
Bit of an interesting development here. It looks like LMU is going to keep Dylan Mayer out on the mound. Obviously struggled last half inning, gave up 4, 2 of which unearned. But seems to be an arm that they're okay with burning through here tonight. Maybe get through this inning, and we'll see where he goes from there. But
again, like you mentioned, it's a game of chess and not checkers. He's their 3rd pitcher that LMU has thrown out in this game, and got a long weekend ahead of you.
Yeah, the nightmare scenario is using 5 or 6 arms here tonight just to lose by quite a few runs. That's definitely not what you're looking for. So definitely a strategic move to keep Mayer in this game.
So Bowman going to lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Have that catch in right to end the top of the 7th. Has 1 hit in his 3 at-bats here in this game. That double as he tips this one. It's going to be a strike and 0-1 count. He's another one of those players like Opata and Bowen, now in his 3rd season, taking that leap up into the back half of his collegiate career. And this North Georgia team, they're no longer one of these sort of like young and up-and-coming teams. They have a lot of players with a lot of experience. We've heard Coach Cantrell say they're just getting older, and this one flies right back into the dugout.
That was, I'm sure, too close for Bryson Tripling's comfort right there.
Bowman keeping everybody's head on a swivel. The count's going to stay 1-2. A big swing there, but a miss from Bowman is going to send him back to the dugout. Brings our first out up on the board here in the bottom of the 7th, and brings Stripling back up to bat. We saw Stripling share some of the duties behind the plate last year with Kyle Robish. We haven't seen Robish tonight, but you do want to give him some credit for last season, that 2024 season when Jace Bowen went down with an injury and Robish had to slide over there into 3rd. And we learned that he hadn't played a minute over there at third base his entire career, and he was playing over there like he had for the last handful of seasons. Led the way for Stripling to, take over as the consistent starter behind the plate for North Georgia. But a lot of that credit you got to give to Robish as well.
Yeah, most definitely. Stripling gets into that one.
Slams it into left, and it's going to be dropped by Hall. Stripling makes his way for 2, gets there standing up. And that's another good-looking hit here for the Nighthawks. Their 13th of the night. Stripling makes his way for 2.
Yeah, real hard hit ball. Not sure what happened out there in left field for Chris Hall, veteran player.
Yeah,
real solid fielder usually, but wasn't able to bring that one in, and now runner on base for Andrew Sopata in scoring position.
Yeah, just a real tough break. It looked like it was halfway down his glove. Looked like it was going to be a routine play, but instead, just 1 out, Stripling on second. You got the red-hot bat of Opata in a good spot here.
Big hack out of Andrews right there. He was trying to drive himself in with that swing.
Opata down in the count, 0-1. Grounds this one into shallow right. Throw to first, gets away, and that is going to be an 8-0 lead for North Georgia as Stripling easily makes his way home. Opata on first. Nighthawks can smell blood here in this one.
Yeah, definitely. Worst case scenario for LMU right there. Unfortunate play and a tough play over there for Kowalski to have to try to make, especially with the speed of Andrew Sopata. But that's one of those moments where that ill-advised throw brings a run in for North Georgia. You need to just swallow that one. You have 1 out. You have a chance for a double play, although unlikely with the speed you have here. But that's a guaranteed run for nothing. North Georgia didn't really have to work for that one. They got an error and then another one to bring in a run. So not since we've seen bullpen arms for LMU, the defense has taken a step down. The pitching's taken a step down after a really solid start from Eli Eds. Just hasn't been the same in the middle portion of this game.
You definitely got to tweak some things as we head into Saturday and Sunday. Still a lot of baseball left to play as Bowen shows back-to-back bunts.
I've seen that before. A couple times. Who's to say we can't have another infield single?
Right, exactly, yeah.
We could have more, way more.
He's had, quite the luxury here. Essentially every time he's been up to bat, he's had Opata on base.
And that's what he's going to be able to get used to all season. There might not be a better spot to be than the 2-hole for North Georgia in the Peach Belt because Andrew Sopata is just so good at getting on base, so good at putting himself in scoring position. And then Bowen, the selflessness to just be a team player and be able to lay down solid bunts like that because they can turn into base hits and those can turn into rallies and then it turns into 4 runs, 8 runs, and you're winning ball games consistently. So
showed bunt there, pulls it back, and the sack bunts and the sack flies, that's really been kind of the bread and butter for North Georgia over the last 2 years. They were first and second in the PBC last season in sack bunts and sack flies, and Jace Bowen, he's always going to make the right play every single time he's up to bat. Like you said, a very selfless player. Just getting runners in scoring position. The 2-1 to Bowen. Grounds this one into right center field. And this is going to put runners on second and third. Make that first and third. But Bowen red hot in this one. 4 for 4 in this game. He cannot be stopped.
No, he cannot. And that's a whole other thing with having Andrews on first base. The pitcher's not 100% focused on where he's putting that ball in the strike zone. He's worried about how he can keep number 28 from stealing second, and then all of a sudden, we're corners. It's just a hard position to be in when you have a team that really has speed, contact, and like we mentioned, just a bunch of selfless players who are willing to put the bat on the ball and see what happens.
So this sets up Phillip Ard with a runner in scoring position in Opata. Another really good spot to be in here, this third in the batting position with Phillip Ard, because odds are you're still going to have Opata on base. Most likely you're going to have Opata or Bowen on base here if you're Phillip Ard. pretty much anytime he's up to bat. He's up in the count 1-0. Takes one down the middle.
He wanted to. He really wanted to swing at that pitch. And how can you blame him? I mean, 3 RBIs for him tonight. He's got a pair of singles.
Yeah, that one coming in at just a tad under 80 miles an hour from Mayer. Takes the 1-1, and this one's going to be just fouled off of his foot into the infield. Like you said, he wanted all of that one. Tried to rebound there, but couldn't get anything going. 3 RBIs for Ard in this one. Picking up right where he left off in 2024. Was one of the best batters in the PBC.
We talked about selflessness and these guys being willing to put the bat on the ball, but when you're a hitter like Philip Ard, you swing for it every time, man. When you have the pop and the ability to get the job done, you step in there knowing that no matter the count, he doesn't care if he has no strikes, 1, 2. He's going to swing like it's a 0-0 count every time, and you saw it right there. That was another hack fouled off at his feet.
Yeah, Ard, one of those leaders in the PBC, top 5 in sack flies last season.
Pretty interesting. Still real no movement in the LMU bullpen. Mayer has had a less than ideal outing so far, but as we continue to go back to just strategy with this long weekend ahead.
Yeah, you want to keep that action to a minimum over there in the bullpen, whether you're North Georgia or LMU here in this game. This weekend in general. The 1-2 to Ard, a big swing there. Just tipped it fouled, so he's going to get another crack at it here in the 1-2 count. The 1-2 pitch. Low for ball 2. Count evens up for the redshirt junior out of Cochran, Georgia.
Real nice job there by Ard to not swing at that pitch. Just a breaking ball that looks good all the way until it isn't. Good plate discipline.
And the 2-2. This one grounded to third. Throw to first, or second on time. Throw to first is not. So it's going to put 2 outs up on the board here for North Georgia, but not before they can extend this lead. 2 outs now. Brings a veteran in, Riley Frost. Try to make this an even deeper game for North Georgia. The pitch to Frost is going to be outside for ball 1. Got Trish on deck, the 1-0. This one just fouled. Make it a 1-1 count. Now we do see a little bit of action going on over there on the, just outside of the screen here on the left side over at LMU's bullpen. A couple players getting loose. The 1-1 to Frost gets away from Mast. That's going to put Ard over there on second. Making things a bit easier here for Riley Frost.
Dylan Mayer just trying to find his way out of this. The loneliest place on earth right now is the mound at Lynn Cottrell Park at Bob Stein Stadium in Dahlonega for Dylan Mayer.
It's a tough spot to be. Nighthawks have put 8 runs up in the past 3 innings.
Good off-speed pitch there. Just missed.
Frost up in the count, 3-1. Takes the pitch from Mayer. Takes it down the middle to fill up the count. We've seen the Nighthawks do a lot of their damage with just a couple outs up on the board. Haven't really been able to do much with 2 here. A lot of their runs have come with just 1 or no outs up on Jumbotron here at Lynn Cottrell Park.
Frost seen a lot of pitches in this AB. It's going to make it hard for Mayer to have a put-away pitch.
And the payoff to Frost just outside for ball 4. So the inning stays alive for North Georgia. Frost makes his way to first and brings Trish, the DH, back up to bat with another crack at it here. He's due for a hit. 0 for 4 this evening. Got to think he's just...
Still no movement to go and get Dylan Mayer. Just...
Two runners on. Trish takes one upstairs for ball 1. And the 1-0 to Trish outside for ball 2. Trish appeared in just 1 game last season at Georgia Southern. Has lone at bat against Radford. You mentioned at the beginning of the game, him and Philip Ard, teammates during the 2023 season down there in Statesboro.
Trish still looking for his first hit as a Nighthawk. Had that line out to right field, along with a fly out to left field. So,
yeah, Trish and Skipper, the only batters in the starting lineup for North Georgia that have been unable to record a hit in this one. The 2-0. This one skies into foul territory, and Trish still not going to get his first there, as LMU gets out number 3 to take us to inning number 8, a 9-0 lead for North Georgia. Heading into the 8th, 6 outs away, the Nighthawks are for ending this game. We'll step aside for a short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. A dominating 9-0 lead here for the Nighthawks heading into the top of the 8th inning. Zach Green's night is done as North Georgia makes another call to the bullpen to bring out their redshirt sophomore out of Cumming, Georgia, Avery Brown. Redshirt sophomore, I should say, out of Sharpsburg, Georgia. The righty making his first appearance with the Nighthawks here in 2025 on opening night. Spent the last 2 years at the Division I level at North Alabama. He's going to get some run here for Coach Cantrell and the Nighthawks. These are the kind of games that, you may go a little bit deeper into your bullpen if you're Coach Cantrell, but you get to see what some of your, new pitchers are made of here, in this case with Avery Brown. Like we mentioned, 2 years at North Alabama. This one's going to be fouled out of play.
Just want to highlight real quick what a great job Zach Green did out of the bullpen there. Took the 6th and 7th, 2 innings, no runs, no hits, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. Just continued what Pierce Williams started. Really nice job. And now that responsibility turns over to Avery Brown.
Yeah, really just very little notes for this pitching staff North Georgia has thrown out here tonight. Played about as good of a game as you could have asked for. As Brown delivers one low for ball 1. And the 1-2 pitch upstairs to even up the count at 2-2. This North Georgia team with Coach Cantrell does typically bring a lot of experience from the Division I level over to this program, as this one is going into the glove of Edwin Bowman, who shifts over right to make the grab for out number 1. We see a lot of transfers from some Division I programs. Brown, one of those, and you got a couple, and Ard and Trish from Georgia Southern. So maybe if they don't even get a ton of run over at that Division I level, they still, it's a player that's been, in the dugout or in the bullpen, and sees a lot of games from the sideline, and
a lot of really high-level dudes in those programs and high-level coaches. They're learning a lot, and then they're able to absorb all that information and bring it over to North Georgia and make this program that much stronger, while also really producing on the field. So that's the strategy of going to get those dudes. Obviously, is to just strengthen your program overall, and then when they can come over and seamlessly fit in and just do what these guys have been able to do, it's all just worked out really well.
Absolutely, and sometimes making that transition to North Georgia is exactly what some of these players need, is just an opportunity. Like you have someone like Philip Ard, who didn't get a ton of run at Georgia Southern, and then comes to North Georgia, and he's one of the best batters in the PBC. So sometimes you just need a little change of scenery, and playing for this program has, really done some wonders for some of these players.
Yeah, most definitely. I think it's really the square at night, like during Christmas time. They go see it, and they're like, man, okay, I'm in.
I think that is a pretty big, big selling point. If you look at a lot of the bios for some North Georgia athletes across all sports, one of the big reasons, when they're asked, like, what's one of the reasons you transferred here, a lot of them do say the area here, up in North Georgia, foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains here in Dahlonega, Georgia. It is really, especially when we get those change in seasons, going from fall into winter, it's just, it's one of the most beautiful places you could play baseball.
Oh, it is. This place, we're obviously here at night, can't see the scenery, but, we have the hill in left field. It's a great place to play. It's covered in trees. Our soccer facility over there has a big wall of trees. It's just a real cool place to play. So I think you're right. I think that's part of what gets these guys here, but obviously the other part of it is that laundry list of accolades I read off for Coach Tom Cantrell earlier. I'm not going to make you listen to all of them again because we'd be here for a while, but
this one soars to the opposite end of the field with Reese Burrow to make the play. But yeah, we'd be sitting here till maybe first pitch of tomorrow's game if we would listing off Coach Cantrell's accomplishments. Reached 1,000 career wins at the beginning of last season. Has racked up Almost 900 of them here at North Georgia. And the pitch from Brown is going to be low and just gets away from Stripling, but it's going to be a 1-0 count.
$854. That's the official number right there. That's a lot of wins.
Indeed it is, yes.
That's a lot of success.
Count's now going to be evened up at 1-1.
We haven't touched on it much tonight, but this is the debut of the new pinstripes.
Yeah,
for
it is. Yeah, with the new NG logo as well. You know, haven't had time to talk about the Nighthawk sideline shot. Maybe we will later on into the year, but definitely the new NG with the new unis this year for North Georgia, looking extra sharp tonight. Epperson now on a 1-2 count against Brown. He's still looking for his first hit of the night. Count's evened up now 2-2. Deuces across the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. As the pitch clock winds down to 15 seconds, Brown gets the signal, delivers the pitch. A big swing and a miss. As Brown gets his first strikeout in a North Georgia uniform to take us to the bottom of the 8th inning. Nighthawks lead this one big, 9-0 in this out-of-conference matchup against the Rail Splitters. Step aside for another break. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. A commanding 9-0 lead for the Nighthawks here in the 2025 season opener against Lincoln Memorial. They're up to bat here in the bottom of the 8th inning. A game that was delayed a few hours due to the rain here in Dahlonega, giving us a great atmosphere here for a night game at Lynn Cottrell Park. Also had a couple of weather delays on the road for the UNG softball team as well, as they are playing in the Gulf Shores Invitational in Gulf Shores, Alabama. And they fell just a bit short in their 2025 season opener against West Alabama, losing that one 2-1. They've got a full day tomorrow against Florida Tech and Berry for rounding out their trip over in Alabama against Union at 10:30 a.m. on Sunday. Reesboro tips this one back to quickly find himself in an 0-2 count.
Looking to make it 3 hits in a row. His last 2 ABs both produced singles, one of those an RBI to go with it.
Yeah, he's really started to find his groove again. Like we mentioned at the beginning of the game, he swings and misses there for the strikeout, but he missed a lot of the end of the season last year, the last 19 games after taking a pitch to the face against West Florida. So that took him out of the batting order, a very solid batter for them, but also took him out of left field as well. It's great to see him back and healthy here in 2025. And like we mentioned, that's the key for this North Georgia team, is to try to just stay as healthy as possible. We've seen, the last couple of years, maybe their seasons ending a little bit shorter than they would have wanted to just because of some injuries to some key players. As Skipper takes a strike.
Having a guy like Arispero come back from injury, he's a senior. It's one of those veteran presences in the locker room that you want on the field. And we've talked about it all night. Just the veteran leadership on this team.
Skipper takes one maybe a bit too close for comfort, but it's going to be ball 2. And the 2-1, this one just fouled. So the count evens up for Brady Skipper. And Skipper, another one of these players in the starting lineup that has kind of evolved his game over the last few years. Came in a freshman class with Opata and Bowen and a handful of players on this North Georgia team. Edwin Bowman a part of that as well. Like we mentioned, in those 2023, 2024 seasons, North Georgia was a team with a lot of new faces and exciting young talent, but a lot of those players have moved into the back half of their collegiate careers. A lot of experience for a lot of these players. Skipper, one of them, started every game last year except for one.
And just another one of those RBI machines, 45 of them a year ago. And he's another dude that when he gets on base, he likes to steal. 22 for 25, so a really high success rate. He had 23 walks. Just RBIs, hits for average. He just does everything you want him to. He slots in real nicely into that 6-hole in the lineup. 7-hole in the lineup, my mistake.
Payoff pitch. This one is going to make it in time to first for out number 2. But yeah, he's another one of those unselfish players that makes a lot of those, sack bunts, sack flies just to get players in scoring position. Didn't have anybody on base there to make that happen. He's one of those players that I think falls a little bit under the radar on this North Georgia team, where you have, kind of your superstar players in Opata and Bowen. You have those players like Skipper who are also just super integral to this team.
Yeah, I touched on it earlier. I mean, at the 7-hole, that's unassuming, really, and he's one of the better hitters on this Nighthawk team. Obviously, tonight didn't go the way he wanted it to go, 0 for 5. But good news is he has 3 more games this weekend to bounce right back. It's the first night. Guys still getting into the swing of things, feeling things out, seeing live ABs that aren't their own guys for the first time in a while. So,
and against the Lincoln Memorial team where, they just haven't seen very much of at all. They saw him a couple years ago in 2023. A lot of those players still on this North Georgia squad, but it's not a team that you see very often. It's not like it's obviously a PBC opener to begin the season.
Really impressive night from North Georgia all around, though. I mean, like we mentioned, LMU is not a pushover by any means. It's a really good baseball program, and North Georgia has come out tonight and just done everything right. Really, I mean, they've dominated most of the categories in this thing. I mean, they have 14 hits so far, only 1 error. They've been really good defensively.
Yeah, you mentioned how good LMU has been over the last few seasons. 32 and 17 last year. They made a run back to the SAC Tournament Championship for the 2nd consecutive season. And they couldn't quite break through to squeak into the NCAA tournament, but they are definitely an up-and-coming team that are trying to navigate, I think, a little bit this season. Payoff pitch to Bowman. This one is going to drop in center field. Bowman gets his 2nd hit of the night. Keeps us inning alive for the Nighthawks in the bottom of the 8th.
Great job there, getting enough on it just to poke it into center field. Bring up Bryson Stripling.
As we were talking about the adjustments that Lincoln Memorial has to make, trying to navigate this year without their former All-American Carson Bowles, one of the most prolific players in Division II baseball last season, finished third in the country in doubles and third in batting average, batted .475 last season. As Stripling hits this one fair up the left field line, throw to first, gets it there right on time for out number 3. That's going to take us to the top of the 9th. Nighthawks just 3 outs away from starting the season out 1-0 here in 2025. We'll step aside for a short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Top of the 9th inning and a 9-0 lead for the Nighthawks over the Rail Splitters under the lights here at Bob Stein Stadium. Again, glad to have you all with us tonight here for opening day. Got plenty of action coming up this weekend. 3 more games on the docket for North Georgia baseball here against Lincoln Memorial. Coming up here, a doubleheader tomorrow starting at 1 o'clock, and then a game at 1 o'clock on Sunday to round out the first 4 games on the schedule for North Georgia. They've got a couple tests on the road coming up after this weekend as well. Got to go play Mississippi College over there in Clinton, Mississippi next weekend, and then go to Salisbury, North Carolina to take on one of the best programs in Division II baseball in Catawba, the number 4 team in the country. So a couple of exciting matchups for them coming up in the coming weeks. And a lot of exciting baseball coming up this weekend as well.
Avery Brown stays out on the mound to try to finish this thing out for the Nighthawks.
Avery Brown, just the 3rd pitcher making an appearance for the Nighthawks here in this game. Pitches a ball for his first here in the 9th. And the 1-0 from Brown squeaks it inside for strike 1. A nice looking pitch there from Avery in at 87.9 miles per hour. And the 1-1 from Brown, a big swing there, but a miss. It's going to make this a 1-2 count.
Really nice job there, changing speeds by Brown.
And the 1-2 just outside to even up the count. Brings Harvey back up to bat. Like we mentioned, one of those all-conference preseason all-conference members to begin the year. He's definitely going to be one of those players to look out for here in this 2025 season. Even with the All-American Carson Bowles on his team last year, was still just a phenomenal hitter as he fouls this one. And we were talking about Carson Bowles in the bottom of the 8th inning, just one of the best players in baseball last year. That LMU is without this season. This one soars into center field. Opata tracking back at the wall to make the grab for out number 1. Carson Bowles transferring to Arkansas to play at the Division I level. Leaves a lot of opportunities for guys on this team to make up for some of the lost production. We could see players like Harvey really step into an even bigger role this year. It's going to bring up the first baseman, Kowalski. Big swing, but a miss there to make the count 0-1.
Real big swing, real good location out of Avery Brown there off the plate. I think he knew that Kowalski was going to want to come out aggressive.
So the count's now 1-1. The pitch to Kowalski is high to make it 2-1. And all these pitchers for North Georgia have really just kept these batters for Lincoln Memorial at bay, just have not been able to get anything going tonight. The 2-1, this one's going to be grounded but fouled into left. Count stays at 2-2.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic job so far by Williams, Green, Brown, all three of them up to this point. Just real successful. Their stuff has been working. They've been ahead in counts. They haven't given up much hard contact. What has been given up has found a glove.
And the 2-2 fouled. And even when Lincoln Memorial's been able to get on base, they've drawn a couple of walks here in this one, courtesy of Hall and Epperson. Still, this fielding for North Georgia really has been something special here in this one. We've seen a lot of connections in this game between Bowen and Ard, or Frost shifting over to make a play. The 2-2 pitch. This one's going to get down. The throw to first doesn't get there on time. Nighthawks just cannot make a play. And that is the first hit of the game here for Lincoln Memorial in this ball game. So they do have some life. It's just coming a bit too late.
Man. Oh,
man, been holding our breath for the last about 10 minutes or so.
Takes nothing away from the pitching effort by North Georgia
absolutely.
tonight. Still just amazing. And a real wise play by Bowen to hold on to that ball at shortstop instead of attempting to make the throw and giving up more than necessary.
A 1 outside for a ball. You still got to like that, hit to strikeout ratio. 9 strikeouts in this game for these North Georgia pitchers. The 1-1 from Brown. This one takes a bounce in front of Ard. Easily tags the bag for out number 2. Now down to their final out. Lincoln Memorial is in this ball game. On both sides of the ball. This has just been a great first outing here for North Georgia.
Yeah, it really has. Just nothing you can really complain about out of North Georgia. If we want to get nitpicky, we could complain about the one hit given up so far, but we won't. just really a great job. The bats were on it. The arms were on it. This is about as picture-perfect an opening day as you could have imagined for the Nighthawks.
So the runner on second, masked up to bat. Brown delivers the 0-1. This one is going to get down in right, and LMU could get on the board here, and they will, as Kowalski crosses home plate. Like we mentioned, LMU starting to click a little bit here with North Georgia maybe letting their guard down a little bit this late in the game, but it's just coming a little late.
Yeah, definitely going to be too little too late for the rail splitters. Turns out the Nighthawks pitching staff does have a crack in its armor.
They are, in fact, human.
They are. You wouldn't have known it for 25 outs tonight.
Counts now 1-0 for Wong Shastine. He's got Mast on first. Brown delivers the 1-0 right down the middle for strike 1. Got Duggan on deck. If Wong Shastine can extend this one for LMU, takes one close. To go up in the count 2-1. Brown delivers the 2-1. This one fouled. Now the Nighthawks down to their final strike here against LMU in this one. Get the double P signs from the home plate ump. 2s across the board. And the 2-2. Just outside.
Real good spot there from Brown.
You know, the Nighthawk faithful definitely thought that was ball game.
Yeah, most definitely.
And the payoff pitch from Brown. This one soars high into the sky in right field. And that's going to be caught. And that will do it. A dominant opening day here for North Georgia as they come away with the 9-1 win. Bats were hot tonight for the Nighthawks, and they're pitching sensational behind a few Nighthawk pitchers, but specifically Pierce Williams to start this game out. 7 strikeouts on the mound for North Georgia. Ryan, he was just picture perfect tonight, and really his first real game in almost 2 years.
Yeah, there's no notes for Pierce Williams. Got the win, went 5 innings, no earned, no hits, was able to get 7 strikeouts. His only blemishes were 2 walks that led to absolutely nothing for the Rail Splitters. So if that's a sign of things to come for Pierce Williams, then I think that this Nighthawk pitching staff is going to be in real good hands with him as your one.
And you got to give your credit to the veteran Zach Green as well as Avery Brown out of the bullpen, the redshirt sophomore out of Sharpsburg, Georgia, closing this game out for the Nighthawks on the mound. And when it comes to their hitting, the top of that lineup for North Georgia as dominant as ever. Andrew Sopata 3 for 4 tonight. Jace Bowen a perfect 4 for 4. Philip Ard adding a couple hits in there as well. This Nighthawk top of the lineup is really showing, you know, some real dominance here in the early goings of the season. Just a taste of what's to come this year.
Oh, most definitely. We got caught up in how great the pitching was, but the bats were just electric all night long for North Georgia. They were able to manage 15 hits as opposed to Lincoln Memorial's 2. Like I said, there's just no notes. There's not much you could do better. Strikeout numbers were a bit higher than I'm sure they wanted. We did end up with 10 strikeouts, but in a 9-1 win, how can you complain about such a thing, really?
Yeah, like you said, just getting a little nitpicky with what is overall just a fantastic
it's our job. We have to talk about something. But no, it was dominant from the word go here, from first pitch. It was just a great job by North Georgia offensively, on the mound, fielding-wise, just great game all around.
So a 9-1 win to North Georgia puts them at 1-0, the 3rd consecutive season the Nighthawks are starting the season out 1-0 after opening day. We'll be back with you tomorrow for a doubleheader starting at 1 p.m. Nighthawks going to take on Lincoln Memorial in back-to-back games before rounding out the 4-game series on Sunday at 1 against LMU. All these games you can catch right back here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. On behalf of Ryan Hutchison and the rest of the NSN team working hard behind the scenes to make this game possible, this is Robert DiClemente signing off. Again, your final score from Dahlonega. Nighthawks win big, 9-1.